Hey everyone, welcome back to the Mitt podcast, episode number 142. In this episode, I'm going to be breaking down why it's important to work in silence and let your success speak for itself. On the surface, and it's almost counterintuitive, we would assume that working really hard, telling people how bad we want something, showing them all the challenges and pitfalls, betrayals, and hard times that we've been through would make them go, you know what? This person put in the most effort. We should give them the promotion. We should buy their product instead of someone else's. It makes sense, right? Because hard work is admirable and it's hard. We've all experienced it at some point in our life, many of us all the time. It's difficult. And deep down, we feel like, well, you've put in the work, so shouldn't you deserve the job? Shouldn't you deserve to make a bunch of money? Shouldn't you deserve to achieve your dreams because of all the difficult times that you've been through? Unfortunately, this is the opposite of human behavior. Humans are attracted to the person that shows up and effortlessly can make basketball shot after basketball shot, or can show up for the golf tournament and absolutely beat everyone and make it look effortless. Or the person who can show up for a meeting, calm and cool as can be, and says the perfect lines, builds the perfect connection, looks like they didn't even prepare, and they make it look effortless. That is who they want to get the job, to get the dream, and to be the top person. It's interesting that when we work really hard and we show it to the world, it actually makes people resent us. Because what happens is they go, oh, that person wasn't naturally that good. And deep down, they know they should have worked harder. They should have put in the effort. They should have been more prepared. So finding out and seeing that you are outworking them, and that's the reason why you're successful, just makes them resent you, makes you think less of you. Is it right? No. But is it human characteristics? Yes. And unfortunately, if we want to win in this world, we have to understand human psychology. And instead of being mad at the game and complaining about it, we should adjust the way that we handle the hand that we were dealt. So in life, opportunities come and go. Richard Branson has a quote that I love. He said, opportunities are like a bus stop. If you miss one, another one will come. But the common denominator is us. We're the ones at the bus stop waiting for that opportunity. But the way to set yourself up to win in life and achieve everything that you've ever wanted is to reform and recreate yourself into the absolute best and possible version. When you get better at speaking, the way that you dress, the way that you carry yourself, the knowledge, the preparation, the experience, what happens is each new opportunity that presents itself, whatever it may be, the odds of you succeeding is going to increase drastically. We are the common denominator in every situation, which means the better we get, the better the quality of our life will get, the better the people that we're friends with, the better the network, the better the results, and the better the quality of life. We can decide how quickly or how slowly we choose to develop, but we have to be intentional about what we're working on, why we're working on it, and what our purpose is and what we're trying to accomplish. Because the more detailed and prepared that we are, the more successful we're going to be. So I'm going to give you guys a 3-step process to creating the best version of yourself and presenting it to the world in the right way so we can actually achieve what we want. Okay, number 1, hard work is not an attribute. It's the bare minimum, right? And your hard work should never be celebrated. It's actually the bare minimum if you are a true professional. Look, the world does not have parades for someone that worked really hard but didn't win the championship. You could have worked 5 times harder than the team that beat you. But at the end of the day, the banner goes up in the arena and the championship trophy goes to the team that executed. Hard work is the bare minimum. And the best way to look at each one of ourselves is to look at ourselves like a true professional. Think about the difference in preparation of a professional athlete versus an amateur. What they do, how much they invest in their mind, in their body. The best quarterbacks in the National Football League, for example, Tom Brady, has not only a trainer, he has people that are taking care of his body. They have a specific, this big of a book on a health plan that he follows to a T. Blackout curtains, sheets a certain way, dresses a certain way, prepares, wakes up at the exact same time, goes to bed at a certain time. He did all of these things, watched film for hours and hours and hours that he knew the defense better than the team that he was playing against. He was so well prepared that when he showed up on Sundays, he showed up on game day, he made it look effortless. Yes, he was an MVP. Yes, he's the greatest quarterback ever. But his preparation was like no one else. So even other people who had more natural God-given abilities weren't able to compete with him because they didn't out-prepare him. We have to look at ourselves like a professional athlete. Whatever industry you're in, know more than anyone. Whatever your competitors are, know everything about their suite of products, their contracts, their weaknesses, their strengths, their connections. Know the culture that you're in. For example, when we send out leads to sales reps, we send it out so detailed that we know what type of demographics respond well to certain types of people. Meaning certain parts of town go to different types of reps because they respond and they close at a higher rate in those areas. And we know the specific closing rate per zip code in any state in America. And we've trained our algorithm to be able to send it out to the right thing so we can get an extra 3, 4, 5%, which helps our reps make more money, which makes our conversions higher, our customer acquisition lower, and our bottom line more profitable. This gives us a competitive advantage. You want to think about things that nobody could ever think about. They would never imagine. Because the difference between a good player, a good business person, and an excellent or elite one is the minor details. It's the things that no one ever thinks about. Sam Walton, the founder of Walmart, the largest retailer to ever be created, and they're right there with the highest revenue business in the world, top 3, I believe, and many times they've been number 1. He would show up to stores, they wouldn't even know that he's the owner, and he would be on the ground looking at difference in the way that it's aligned. If there was a piece of he'd pick it up. He would travel overseas, and he would get on the ground and he would look at the way grocery stores were in Japan and in Europe and South America and all these different areas to see what they're doing versus what he's doing. There's a business owner that's a multi-billionaire from Houston, Texas. He owns the Houston Rockets. He's the largest restaurateur in the United States. And they said he can walk in a restaurant and within 15 seconds, he'll notice a light bulb is out. He doesn't miss a beat. You have to pay this much close attention to detail if you want to have the most successful business, attract the best types of people, and execute at the highest level. What I found after going from scratch to building an 8-figure company is I greatly underestimated how difficult it was and how much effort I had to put in to succeed. I thought it would be 3x difficulty. It was 100x difficulty. And I remember about 2 years in, we're doing great. I'm working nonstop, learning nonstop, fixing problems nonstop, handling this. And I remember calling my brother and I go, how the hell does anybody stay in business? Because it is impossible for us. And we are hitting on all cylinders. He goes, I have no idea. That's just 8 figures. So getting to 9 and 10 and 11, 12 is a whole different category with even more intelligent people, more capital, more resources. And it will forever continue to increase the difficulty and the amount of preparation that you need for each new level. So this cycle never ends until you give up. But we have to be that focus. The second is the things that you do in private, people feel in your energy and your presence. Have you ever had maybe an off week, an off day? You just don't feel like yourself. But you're a good actor. You dress nice. You had a dinner, a birthday dinner, a work function. You had to go meet maybe your wife or your kids out for dinner. Do you notice the way that the people that came up to you treated you and the way that they responded versus the way that people usually treat you? Do you notice maybe they acted a little bit different? If you have a spouse, they know immediately. They go, what's wrong with you? Maybe people were a little bit more rude to you. They cut you off while you're driving there. They didn't give you as nice a service. They didn't come up all happy and enthusiastic. They were just a little turned off by you. On the surface, this doesn't make sense because you dressed as good or better than you ever did. You still smiled. You were still polite. You were still kind. Why did the world respond differently to you? Well, it's because we have an energy field around us that's 88 inches in diameter. That's why when we enter a funeral or a hospital or a hospice clinic or an environment, a friend's house that's just super negative, the second you could be great, you're happy as can be, you walk in, all of a sudden you feel like you almost, a pit in your stomach, you almost want to throw up. You leave and you're like, oh, God, I feel drained. For any of you that's ever dated a really negative person, this is especially important if you're having sex with them. That energy is combining. This is one of the reasons why married couples, they start looking like each other. There's mirror neurons in our face that we're naturally mirroring the other person that's sitting right across from us, so we start looking like each other. And you're exchanging energy by eating with someone, kissing someone, having intercourse with someone. This is changing your energy. This is changing that 88 inches in diameter, that field around you. When a dog comes up and hugs you, it changes your energy field. You notice the warmth and the excitement you feel from being around an amazing, happy dog? That's the energy from them. So we have to be extremely conscious about being a good person, not holding on to negative people or bad experiences in the past, mistakes that you've made. When you work out, when you meditate, when you do the right things, when you're a kind person, when you do good business, when you sleep 8 hours, when you read, when you're around positive people, this lifts your energy, your frequency. This is why when you're doing the right things, even though no one knows how hard you're working, how much things you've been through, when you're happy, when you're positive, that's why when you walk out and you go to a restaurant, you go to an interview, you just get whatever you want. I'll give you an example. Let's see, this was about 3-4 weeks ago. I live in Dallas, but I'm born and raised in Houston, Texas, and I was going to visit some family, and my license had just expired. If you know anything about the DPS in America, it's horrible. It's like a running joke. It's the slowest thing ever. I haven't been to the DPS in, gosh, I don't even know how long, maybe 5-6 years. So I don't even remember how it works. So I Google it. I'm like, how do I renew a license? And I said, well, you know what? I don't feel like doing all this stuff. I tried to call. It didn't work. I said, yeah, I'm just going to show up. So I drive over there, and I walk in. There's a line of people, packed. Every seat's filled. There's 3 people in front of me just to talk to the person to check in. I'm like, well, you know, this will probably take a couple hours, but at least I knock it out before I go back to Dallas. I get in line. She goes, when's your appointment? I said, I don't have one. She goes, go to this link. I said, okay. So I go to the link. I'm like, okay, let's do this real quick. The wait is 3 months. 3 months. She said, well, check in the other cities. Where do you live? I said, I live in Dallas, and I'm in Austin a lot. She's like, okay, check those. 2 months, 4 months. And I'm like, oh my God. I came to Houston to see my family. I had to get it down here. And I said, man. But I didn't want to take no for an answer. I was in a great mood. I was excited to be back in town. I was excited to see family. So I sit around and I said, if the governor of Texas called, could he get me in? They said, no. And I go, damn. What about a representative? I said, maybe, but probably not. I said, okay, yeah, I came in town for this. I've been wanting to do it. So I wait a little bit. All of a sudden, another lady walks in. She smiles. She goes, hey, do you need any help? I said, yeah, I need a friend. She's like, okay. I said, I came in from out of town. I'm only here for 2 days, and I really need to get my license renewed. Can you help me? And she said, I'll be right back. She walks away. She comes back. She gives me a little ticket. I said, I'm good. She said, yep. I go and I sit down. Next thing you know, 10 minutes later, they call my name. I come up, and this lady named Donna checks me in. She's nice as can be. And then to my surprise, I find out I have a parking ticket that I forgot about that was unpaid. It was like $200-300. I said, okay, can I pay it real quick? She said, yeah. So I go to the website, I pay it. I come back, she goes, Grant, it's still showing on there. I know you paid it, but it's gonna take 3 to 4 weeks just to clear because of how slow our systems are. I said, damn. And she said, but I don't want you to have to wait 3 months to come back. Write down my name, and the next time you come back, just tell them you're here to see Donna. They'll let you in, you come right here and you won't have to wait. I was like, wow. So this week I was in Houston. I walked in, I said, hey, I'm here to see Donna. There's a line of people, hundreds of people everywhere. As I'm walking up, people are like, hey, we're here. Do you have an appointment? No. Do you have an appointment? No. They're getting all this bad news, getting sent home, not getting their stuff for 3 months. I said, hey, I'm here to see Donna. Oh, okay, cool. You know where she is? I was like, yeah, right in the middle. I said, yeah. I walk up to Donna. I said, hey, do you remember me? She's like, yep, come up. I walk up, get it. 5 minutes later, I have my license. Done. I saved 3-4 months of time. And even with that hiccup, I was able to pass all of those people. I didn't have to use a connection. I didn't have to call anyone. I didn't slip her a 20. I should have probably slipped her a 20. What happened? I just had good energy. I had certainty. I had confidence. And I didn't take no for an answer. Life is like this. Whether it's getting a job, getting an opportunity, meeting the right connection, meeting your husband or your wife, meeting a great friend, getting an investment. When you've done the right things, great things happen. But it starts with what you're doing in private. And when you do the right things, great things happen. Lastly, make everything that you do look effortless. When you prepare so much, where practices are excruciating, the work that you've done mentally, the books that you've read, the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of calls that you've made, getting yelled at and cursed at, the hundreds of meetings that you got turned down on for investors, or hundreds of job interviews that you keep getting no for. All of these failures make you better and prepare you for the right opportunity. But when that right opportunity comes, smile, be poised, be relaxed, make it look effortless. Act like you're having fun with your friends. This is when you are going to look like a superstar. What made Michael Jordan so great is he outworked everyone. Practices were insane, difficult. But when he was on that court, he knew every single one of those fans might have saved up for weeks to get a ticket to go see the Chicago Bulls. And he put on a show. He made every single night look like magic, effortless. And that's how we have to present ourselves to the world. Everyone will fall in love with the sob story and everything we've been through and all the difficult times because we've all been through them. They'll love and be inspired by that story after they see you hang championship banners in the arena, after they see you holding the trophy, after they see you build a successful brand or business or do something incredible. But this starts with the things that you're doing when no one's watching. Look, pity feels good. It feels good to vent that your boss is unfair and doesn't like you because of what you look like or because you made them feel insecure or whatever the case may be. Look, I get you. We've all been there before. It feels good to vent. Stop telling people your problems. Stop complaining because losers complain. Losers blame the government, blame their boss, blame the situation they grew up in, blame what they look like, blame where they live. Winners just find a way. And I guarantee every person that's listening to this right now can point to someone that grew up with as bad or probably worse situation and they turned it into gold. If they can do it, so can you. The difference is a decision. The difference is doing the things today that everyone else refuses to do. Because what's so beautiful about life, and this really clicked to me the last 6 months, is that everything that we want right now in the world exists. The person you want to marry, the investor that you need to get to invest in your company, every customer that's going to buy your products and services, the friends and the network that you're going to build, which is going to open up incredible doors. They all exist right now. They don't need to change. We do. What's so cool is that this doesn't have to take 30 years. As soon as you become the person that has a vessel that can contain what you were wishing for. What you want happens like this. One of my really good friends, he's been in real estate, and he called me 6-7 months ago. He was having women problems. He was struggling with work. He was usually a top realtor, or he does wholesaling. He was used to being number one in his office every single month. He was just having a rough time. And I told him to refocus, go read these books, go abstinent for 4 to 5 weeks, refocus. I gave him a list of all of these things to do. And he just sent in a group chat that his portfolio just cleared $1 million. He just met an unbelievable woman. Every single 2 or 3 days, she's doing something else nice for him. She's beautiful. She's amazing. She fits him perfectly. He's happier than he's ever been. And if you went back and looked at him in January or February, he was losing his mind, stressed about money, women problems after women problems, didn't know what the hell he was going to do. But he locked in and he changed. And all that work that he did, making $1 million, he's like, Grant, this is like me working for 3-4 years straight, hard and winning. I never would imagine I'd be able to do this. What changed? The market didn't change. He changed. He became smarter. He learned new ways to invest. He learned creative ways to make money. He leveled up in his mindset, in the way that he communicated, the way he was with dating. Everything got better. But that's because he decided to. He can do it. Everyone else can too. So I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment below. Every time you do, it pushes it out to the algorithm. Share it with a friend. And then also, guys, I'm having a business leadership workshop this Tuesday, 11/18. And if you guys would like a free spot, I'm giving out 150. There's a link below to register. And if you guys are a business owner, each month I let in 3 to 5 people into an inner circle mentorship group. We do networking, weekly calls, and one-on-one guidance to help build and scale our companies. I wish we could allow more, but unfortunately there are time constraints. If you guys are interested in that, there's a link below, grantmittconsulting.com. Just book a quick call there. As always, I'm rooting for all of you guys. Crush it this week, and I'll see you guys again for episode 143. And also, guys, remember, we're doing daily affirmations as well that are 2 to 3 minutes long. Hope you guys enjoy them as well. Talk soon, guys.